The Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments is God's standard for right living. To obey the Ten Commandments is to obey God. To obey God is to show Him respect. To obey God is to show Him that you love Him. To obey God is to reverence Him. To obey God is to follow His instructions. The Ten Commandments is written in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5. We will show you 10 easy ways to remember the 10 commandments using the numbers 1 to 10. Listen, learn, obey, and practice them. Welcome to the 10 commandments. Has its ups and downs.
Commandment number 1.
Do not worship any other God besides me. The number 1 should remind you of the first commandment. 1. Do not have more than one God. You must have only one God, and that is God Almighty, His Son Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. As a child, have only one God. When you become an adult, have only one God. When you get old, have only one God. In everything you do, He must come first in life. That means every morning when you wake up, He has to be the first person you have to speak to. How? By praising Him and praying to Him. If you want to take any major decision in life, talk to Him first about it. Have only one God. He should be number 1 in everything that concerns you. Commandment says, do not make idols of any kind. Now write the number 2. Look at that number 2. The edge of number 2 looks like it's bowing. That should remind you of commandment number 2. It's facing downwards, bowing. And number 2, you must never worship or bow down to them. You must never bow or worship any other thing aside from God. Now, how do you worship or bow down to other things? Anything that takes the place of God in your life, anything you love more than God, anything you respect more than God, has taken the place of God. That means you're worshiping and you're bowing to that thing. If you enjoy the movies more than you love God, that means you're bowing to the movies. If you love your games, your PSP, your phone, even your friends, if you respect, love, and honor your friends more than you do God, that means you're bowing to your friends. That means you've made them idols. Do not bow to any other thing. Do not make anything an idol. Bow and worship only God alone. Number 2 should remind you, anytime you see yourself doing what God doesn't like, referencing something more than you should reference God, remember you are bowing. Remember the number 2. Don't be like the number 2. Remember, you must only obey, bow, and worship God alone. That is commandment number 2.
I can feel the sun. I believe that I can do this. I know that I can win, just as long as I have His love within. I believe that I can make it through the night.
Commandment number 3.
Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God in vain. Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God in vain. Now write the number 3. Now I want you to turn it around. Now what does it look like? The shape of your lips, your mouth. That should remind you of the things you say. The things you say using the names of God. Do not swear. Do not use the name of God in vain. Most people go ahead to say, I swear to God, I swear. No. Do not use His name in vain. Use His name in praises. Sing to Him. But don't use His name in vain. Don't swear. Don't try to make a point using his name, calling his name in vain. Remember your mouth. The number 3 should remind you of your mouth. What comes out of your mouth should be controlled. Do not use the name of the Lord your God in vain from what's coming out of your mouth.
Commandment number 4.
Observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Number 4. Now write the number 4. Cut off the first part of number 4. What do you have left? You have something that looks like a cross. The cross should remind you of church. In most churches, we have a cross on top of the building. The Sabbath day to most people now is like a Sunday. People go to church on Sundays. Keep it holy. Don't stay at home and watch TV when you should be in church. Don't stay at home and decide to play your games when you should be in church. Don't stay at home sleeping when you should be in church. It's a commandment from God. He wants you to keep that day holy. Go to church with others. Praise Him with others. Pray to Him with others. It's a Sabbath day. It's His own special day. Remember the number 4. Remember the cross sign. Remember the 4th commandment. Keep the Sabbath day holy.
I want to hear well done. Thank you, Jesus.
Commandment number 5.
Honor your father and mother. Now write the number 5. Make the curve very big. What do you see? The curve looks like a pregnant woman with her tummy sticking out. The curve in the number 5 should remind you of commandment number 5. It should remind you of your parents, your mom and your dad. Honor your father and mother. As a child, you obey your parents. You follow their instructions. You do all they ask you to do. As an adult, you honor them. How do you honor them? You honor them by taking care of them in their old age. You honor them by buying them gifts. You honor them by taking care of the financial needs. You honor them by the way you behave when they are not there. Those things you know they would love to hear you do. You don't do them. Because when you do them, you bring dishonor to them. So you honor them by doing those things that you know they will be proud of. Remember your mom. Remember she carried you in her tummy for 9 months, just like the number 5. Obey them, love them, and honor them, even long after they are dead. Honor them by continuing to do what those things that you know they will really appreciate and love if they were alive to see you. Make them proud. By doing this, you're honoring them.
This music is more than the melody. It's more than the rhymes. It's an expression of the sound from heaven.
Commandment number 6.
Do not murder. Now write the number 6. What does it look like? It looks like a gun. You hold it by the circle part, then the other point you use in shooting. And with a gun you murder people, you kill. To murder is to kill. Remember, thou shalt not murder. Never kill, never murder. As a child or even as an adult, whatever happens, never murder anyone created by God. Now there are other ways you could also murder, even without using a gun. You could murder in your heart. Has someone ever offended or angered you so much that you wish them dead? Now you're committing murder in your heart. Though you are not killing them with a physical gun, but in your heart you're already killing them. That is another way you murder. Never get so angry that you wish someone dead. Another way you could commit murder is when you talk bad about somebody behind their backs. You're murdering them. The person is not there to defend himself, so you go on and on and on saying things about them. You're killing them. You're murdering them. So remember the 6th commandment. Never murder. Don't kill. Never murder using a gun. Never murder by being so angry you wish somebody dead in your heart. Never murder by saying bad and evil things behind someone's back. Remember commandment number 6.
Commandment number 7.
Do not commit adultery. Now write the number 7. The first part is joined to the other part, making them a whole number. Now put a slash. Cut off the upper part from the lower part. They are now separated. Now to commit adultery is when two people that are meant to be together become unfaithful to each other. They separate from each other and become unfaithful. That is committing adultery. Now you could commit adultery by separating yourself from God. When you cut off yourself from God, you don't do the things of God, you don't love God, you don't serve Him, but you attach yourself to something else. Probably to your friends, to your dress code, to the TV, to your idol on TV. You are more attached to them. You are separated from God. You are committing adultery because you're supposed to be joined to God. So remember the number 7. Once you separate yourself from God, you are no longer complete. When the number 7 was separated, the slash sign was useless. The lower part was useless. But when you bring them together, it becomes a perfect number 7. So you have to stay glued to God. Do not commit adultery by cutting off from God and the things of God. Stay glued and faithful to God and to whoever you are married to.
Commandment number 8.
Do not steal. Now write the number 8, but write it using 2 circles. Now make a first circle, then make another tiny circle underneath the first circle. That's number 8. But what does it look like? What does it remind you of? It reminds you of a handcuff. A handcuff is used to take away criminals when they are caught. When people steal and they are caught, you use the handcuff to take them to prison. So remember the number 8. Do not steal. You could be a social thief, or a domestic thief, or even a robber. You are a domestic thief when you steal in your own house. When you steal things from the fridge, when you steal from your dad's bag, when you go upstairs using your mom's phone when she's not there, when you go to the kitchen and you decide to steal a piece of meat, you are a domestic thief. Anyway, you are still stealing. Now you are a social thief when you steal outside your home. When you go to school and you steal people's stuff, you are a thief. You go to somebody's drawer, they are not there, and you quickly take what doesn't belong to you. You are a thief. Then you are a robber. When you now carry guns and you waylay people. In any of this kind of stealing, when you are caught, you will be held and taken to prison with a handcuff. Either your mother puts you to handcuff by thoroughly dealing with you, or in school you're thoroughly disgraced, or when you're caught in the society, you're taken to prison. So remember the number 8. Remember to not steal. Don't be a domestic thief, don't be a social thief, and don't be a robber.
Commandment number 9.
Do not testify falsely against your neighbor. Now write the number 9. The number 9 is a little bit crooked, right? You go all the way, you make a circle, then you go back up, and then you come down. It's not straight. It's kind of crooked. That reminds you of what happens when you testify falsely against people. When you're not sure of something, don't go on and on and on trying to make up stories. When you are called to testify and you don't know, say, I don't know this, I wasn't there. Or yes, this is exactly what happened. Go straight to the point. Don't make up stories. Don't say what you don't know. Don't be crooked like the number 9. Thou shalt not testify against your neighbor. Be straight. Let everything you say be straight. Who is your neighbor? It could be your brother. It could be your friend in school. It could be your neighbor living next door. Maybe there was a fight and you've been called to say what happened. Because the other person is your friend, instead of you to say you don't know what happened, you go on and on and on making up stories so as to get the other person in trouble. You're bearing false witness. God doesn't like and approve such things. So remember commandment number 9. Do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Always say the truth no matter what.
Commandment number 10.
Do not covet your neighbor's wife. Do not covet your neighbor's house or land, or anything your neighbor owns. What does it mean to covet? To covet means to desire something someone else has. To badly want something that belongs to someone else. So how do you remember commandment number 10? Now write the number 10. Make the 0 very big. Now do a $sign inside the 0. Now what does it look like? It looks like a bag of money that was stolen, or plenty of money tied up in a bag. Now what should it remind you of when you want more and more and more? You're coveting. Some people go to school, they even covet other people's parents. They see somebody come to school in a very nice car and they just wish those were their parents. You're coveting someone else's parents. That is wrong. Some people go to school and they like other people's lunch pack. They covet it, they want it badly. So they go on to harass their parents and tell them that is the exact thing they want. Some people go on, whenever they see anything that somebody's wearing, they want it badly. They want that shoe, they want that bag, they want that belt, they want that phone. You are coveting. There is really nothing wrong in admiring something that someone else has. But when you want it badly, you're now coveting. So you have to learn to be content. Whatever it is you have, whatever it is your parents gave you, whatever it is that God has given to you, you should be content with it. Celebrate it, love it, enjoy it. Do not covet. When you covet, it leads to envy. It leads to stealing, and it leads to jealousy. So remember the 10th commandment. Never want and want and want and keep wanting everything that you see. Be content with what you have. Do not covet.